Yeah, it's being live streamed.
It's setting it up.
You can start off, Tina. You can do an introduction. We'll go. Yeah, it's being live streamed.
Yeah, just a second. It's setting it up.
You can start off, Tina. You can.
I'm just waiting for Facebook to show. Just a second.
It's coming on YouTube as well.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Right. Kiara, good evening. I'm Mary Joseph from AJV Global. We're coming live both on Facebook on our AJV Global page and also on AJV Global YouTube channel. I'm Mary Joseph. I'm a licensed immigration advisor based in New Zealand. Also, we have Aaron Jacob, our founder and director of AJV Global, and we passionately promote New Zealand as a destination for study and migration. So today, we're here with some really exciting news. Obviously, everybody knew that the borders are opening tonight at 11:59 p.m. The borders will be open and applications also will be open across all visa categories. So today we are here to talk to you in detail about what it means for people who are outside New Zealand, what it means for people who are in New Zealand and would like to travel and come back to New Zealand. So I'll quickly let Arun give a quick intro and then we'll get into the important questions around those. Yeah.
Hey guys, Kia ora, namaste, sat sri akal, assalamu alaikum. What else? Bonjour, hola, whatever other languages I know. But hey, welcome back to this wonderful live sessions that we've become famous for at AJV Global. We were probably one of the pioneers of reaching out to all you wonderful people across different parts of the world and share our passion and commitment towards quality migration into New Zealand. And I know I haven't been alive for a long time because there really was nothing much to share, guys. For the last 1.5, 2 years, we've all been in a bit of a slump. Thank you very much, COVID. Wherever you came from, you took the wind out of our sails. But here we are back, raring to go. And yes, as Mary said, tonight is the night when the borders of New Zealand are fully and finally opening, and which is why I broke my own rule of not working on a Sunday, but I said, no, here is very important news, and so we will need to come and speak to you guys and welcome you back here into New Zealand. So yeah, along with my senior colleague Mary, assisted by one more of our colleagues, we are here to answer all your questions and queries. And in the meantime, I will let Mary lead away.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're just having a few technical glitches. I was just cross-checking to see if whether the live stream is on, because I think there's a bit of an issue here. So just gonna quickly get an okay from my team, and then we can
it is saying it is going live on Facebook, so I think we are fine with that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, on the top left-hand corner of the screen, it does say it's going live.
It wasn't showing. It's just Jyoti, all good? Yeah, okay. I'll just quickly wait for that. Jyoti?
Yeah, okay. I mean, absolutely. Right. It does say that it is going live, but I could also.
No, Jyoti just sent me a message saying it was not. So I was just, okay, cool. We are. So she just confirmed. Great. So now the borders are opening after what? It's a good almost 3 years now that the borders were closed for new visa applications, right? Though the government did allow a few cohorts of students to come in at different parts of the lockdown. Now, what does it mean when we say the borders are completely open, Arun? What do you mean? What does it mean for people outside?
Okay, so I mean, basically, when people talk about migration to New Zealand, a lot of them don't understand that anybody who travels from another country into New Zealand, irrespective of what visa type they're coming in, fall under the heading of migration. So whether you're coming as an international student, as an investor, as somebody who wants to come and set up a business here, or just as a tourist or coming on a work visa, if you've got a yourself a job offer from a New Zealand company. So all of them fall under the migration category. So what the government was doing during the lockdown period of COVID was that they were only doing certain limited numbers of entries into the country. But now it is like it's open for everybody. And so what they've also done is they've started processing applications for all types of visas. Earlier, there was a bit of a limitation on what kind of visas were being processed. But like I said, tonight is the night. From midnight tonight, all visa categories are open. So people are welcome back into New Zealand as international students, skilled migrants, investors, entrepreneurs, visitors, or work visa holders. So yeah, and of course, not to forget the fact that a lot of partners and children were also caught outside New Zealand are also now going to be welcomed back here, subject to the right visa process. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great. So, I mean, AJV Global, we've been very, very well known, and we are expert in the area of education. So, what is your news to the students who are looking at coming into New Zealand? What is your message for them?
I think what the government again did in the last 1.5, 2 years, because they actually had a time to take a deep breath and sort of sit back and analyze how this industry has shaped up. As you and I know, we have been in this industry for close to 20 years now, and we've seen the incredible growth of New Zealand as a destination for international students. Where I think through a process of trial and error by various government departments like Education New Zealand or the institutions or immigration department, they're kind of trying to find the right fit for what was it. So, there were sometimes they did the right thing. Sometimes, maybe they let the door open too wide. So I think, but this COVID period actually gave them a really, really good time to go back to the drawing board and reset, as it is called, of the entire international education strategy. And now the emphasis has shifted towards quality, which I mean was there all along. I'm not denying that it wasn't there before, but now it has very, very specifically moved towards quality education with emphasis on bachelor's, postgraduate diplomas, masters, and PhDs, which obviously is at a higher quality in the table, the NZQA table of qualifications as well. And what this really means is that they are going to attract and bring in international students who have, because to get into some of these courses, you will require the right level of English, the right level of finance to be able to afford your fees and your living expenses. So essentially, it's better screening of international students who can then come into the country. And because when you move from one country to another country, especially when you're moving from, let's say, the east to the west, or the Middle East to the west, sort of thing, you require certain inherent skills to be able to survive here. So this new reset is going to help people with those inherent skills not only to come in here, enjoy their studies, get great quality education from one of our premier institutions, enjoy their stay here, take part in all those New Zealand adventures, feel confident about themselves, finish their courses, get their post-study work visa, find a suitable job, and then eventually apply for residence. So I think that's a good reset, and I think the focus on quality is actually going to be very good. I mean, strangely enough, this was always the policy in AJV Global anyway. From day one, we never ever catered to the so-called quantity, and we always catered to the quality. And that is why so many of our beautiful young students who came in now are so well settled and fantastic jobs. Some are working with the government, some have set up their own businesses, some have gone on to become multiple property owners, all kinds of, and their spouses are doing well. The kids are doing exceptionally well in schools. So I think, yeah, we as an organization, we're always focused on the quality. And so it's going to basically help us to move forward with more confidence as well.
Yeah, on that note, I must add that because I'm the one over here overseeing all the applications of students who have converted to now job work visas and now applying for residence. We have a good what do you say? We have a good conversion in terms of percentage of people who eventually become residents. When we say migrants, everybody's a migrant, but we have a good 85 plus percentage of students eventually
Yeah,
becoming residents in New Zealand, which is very, very high according to New Zealand standards. Because I remember there was a survey in 2017 that said only 18% of the international students become residents in New Zealand, but
correct.
our ratio has always been high. So this is good news. So adding to this entire immigration reset, can you just point out a few important things that have changed because of this reset?
I mean, dramatically, nothing much has changed. The government's policies, by and large, have remained the same. They have introduced something called the green list, which to me is nothing but a refined version of what we always talked about, which is the long-term skills shortage list of New Zealand. And to me, that's a very beautiful migration policy, which dovetails very nicely into international students picking up work visas and then going on to work and those skills and shortages that we have as a country. So to me, it is actually a nice closing of the loop, which is what I personally have always batted for. And that was the reason I got into this industry in the first instance, is to help New Zealand's society become a lot better by attracting the talent which is getting pulled in the different directions. So if there's bunch of well talented young people, let's say in India, who have just graduated from one of the premier colleges in India, they actually have a choice of going to so many different destinations across the world. They can go to the US, Canada, UK, Australia, Ireland, or Singapore, anywhere. So, and New Zealand was also in the fray, competing for that same bunch of talent. So I think if we are through this new focus on quality, we are able to attract more and more of these talented youngsters from not only India, China, various other countries, Vietnam, wherever, it doesn't matter, into our country. I think the pathway becomes so much more clearer for them, because first and foremost, the screening is much better now because the emphasis is on quality. And then if they're also able to dovetail nicely into this green list, which, like I said, by and large is no different from what the original long-term skill shortage list was
True.
there.
That
So
is true.
if you are coming into study in one of these green list occupations, basically it means you're so much better prepped to be able to go on and achieve your career and hopefully your residency goals as well.
Yes, and adding to that, I think one of the most important things is the post-study work visa rights have changed across the board, and but it's not a bad thing. I think a lot of people think, okay, PG diplomas now have a lesser duration of a post study, and and the diplomas are no longer having post study work visas unless you are studying a green list occupation again approved. Please understand, it's not a disadvantage, okay? Because until about 3 years ago, we had only 1 year post study, and all those people who came in at that time also moved on to finding jobs, also moved on to becoming residents here in New Zealand. So it's not a disadvantage, but it's basically saying, okay, 1 year is a good enough time for you to be able to find that job and further convert into an employer based visa, which again is a very, very strong pathway for many, many people. Again, based on the records of our students, I can confidently tell you that the salary, the median wage that everybody worries about, people with some basic experience are able to move to that median wage very, very quickly. I have seen people have proved themselves. Fresh graduates might take a little longer time, but if you have at least 3 to 4 years experience, moving to the
Yeah,
median wage is actually not very difficult, irrespective of whether you're on the green list or not. Okay, I think
correct.
it's very wrong for the. I think there's a very wrong notion around the migrants and the students who want to come in that, oh no, I have to study a green list program only to eventually, which is wrong. I mean, yes, Arun.
Yeah, I just want to add this confusion that a lot of our prospects and clients have about all these technical terms that come up on
Yeah.
the immigration website. I really have no problem about people going to the immigration website and trying to figure out what's happening in the latest trends or policies of. But people also need to understand that immigration is a legal process. It's a lengthy process, and it takes a lot of time to figure out what the heck is a green list as against a long-term skill shortage list, or what is a regional skill shortage list, or there's so many. It can get very, very confusing for a person who is a layperson in the immigration industry. Like, For instance, other immigration is my forte, and because of which I understand it. But if somebody suddenly starts talking about, computer programming and talks to me about, should we use reactive native, or or should we use something for a database or something else for program, I wouldn't have a clue. And that is exactly where the government also came out with this. I mean, look at me. I hold this very proudly. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is my official license from the government of New Zealand, where I get the title of a licensed immigration advisor. And guys and girls, this was not easy to get.
Easy.
I had to
Hmm.
slog my butt off and go through a course, get that, understand, read immigration law, study it, understand it, and then get my license, and then be provisional initially, and then get a full license. And then every year, I and yourself as well, Mary, as a licensed immigration advisor, we need to go through something called compulsory CPD, which is the professional development, and we have to keep ourselves up to date. And that is where clients should not get confused. They should instead seek out the services of a professional organization like AJV Global. And I see this so often that they read something on the website or a news article and say, hey, but what is the green list? Hey, what is the construction list? Hey, what is the health list and all this? Don't get confused, guys. We are here to help you to sort out through that, minefield. Say, for instance, if I have to get a software built for my company, I'll not sit and try and program it myself. I'd rather call a guy, and pay him money, who knows his React Native from his, whatever else, a database administration or whatever else they have. So that's my sincere request. And just to take a quick brief pause in this, quick hello to Manjunath and to Neil De Beer, our good friend who has also joined in. I see that they are on social, on our Facebook Live. So yeah, I mean, don't get confused, people. Just talk to a good professional company like AJV Global, and we will get down into the nitty-gritties of what your background is, which is your best course. For instance, I mean, the other thing, sorry if this is a bit of a long speech, but a lot of times students, prospective international students, do not even know what subject they want to choose. And we have devised ways and means of ensuring that they are fitting into that correct area and into that correct subject area where their inherent skills and talents are matched, so that they don't go off track, and there's highest chance of them succeeding after they complete the course. And also, if you're talking about the lessening of the post-study work visa durations for some courses like the post-study work, like the postgraduate diploma. Come on, guys. I've been in this industry from a time when there was no post-study work visa at
That is
all.
true. Hmm.
At all. There was nothing. And I still remember one of my good, really, really good friends who came in as a client called Siddharth, who is now, working very, very well in the creative industry here in New Zealand. The guy came for a 1 year course. There was no, post-study work visa those days. You had to study, either find a job or get out of the country. But even at that time, people were coming in because why? They were confident about the talent. They came in, they said, no, I'm going to go to New Zealand, get quality education. And I'm sure based on my quality education and my past experience and my confidence in expressing myself, I can still get a job. And I'm talking about Siddharth, like what, 18, 19 years ago. He is now well settled and stuff like that. So don't get too stressed about it. And you talk to us and we will guide you through the right way. And for us, it is very important as an organization to keep your interests ahead of our interests. So if you believe and trust that statement, talk to us and we'll get it sorted for you.
Yeah, and the government, the government of New Zealand has certified us. We are an NZRA agent. We are an Education New Zealand approved, a recognized agent. In fact, I was at a meeting here in New Zealand because we were restarting this international education. I had the agent meet last week. I was there for 2 days, interacting with all the schools, all the colleges. They were very, very confident and very pleased that students are going to come back. They are prepared. They are ready. Likewise, we also have an assurance from Immigration New Zealand that they are going to be on track in terms of giving out the visas. Yes, there could be a bit of starting problem because it's been a while and there's a new system, online system and stuff like that. So besides that, we also, Arun and myself, and we have 4 others here in the company who are recognized, advisors. We have licenses. And again, we go through a rigorous, verification and training to eventually get this. So even if it's education, we are approved, we are certified. We know our stuff, and even if it's migration, we know we have our licenses in place to give you the right advice ethically and transparent. That is very, very important for us.
Not
Right.
to
So we've
mention
started
that
getting,
recent, sorry to cut, I'm so sorry, I
yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off. Not to mention that recently we got recognized by the Government Department called Education New Zealand, and we were recipients of a special award where they recognized us. In fact, all the institutions in New Zealand apparently voted to say, hey, look, these are the top companies that you really need to encourage and promote because they do good work for promoting high quality education in New Zealand. And we are very pleased, we are very stoked about it, and we will continue to remain on this crusade of high quality international students and migrants into New Zealand.
Yes, brilliant. Right, we started to get a few questions, and
Okay,
we're
sure.
going to start jumping in and add whatever extra we can with these questions. Okay.
Yeah,
So
sure.
we've got the first one. Viren Gandhi says, "What is the processing time for PVV?" Which I think it's a partner visitor visa from India. Okay, I'll jump into that question.
Please do that. Yeah.
Partner visitor visas again will start processing only from next week. As I said, there is a bit of backlog of partner work visas, which Immigration New Zealand is handling at the moment. These were cases that were lodged in 2020, again, 2019 and 2020. But average processing time pre-COVID was about 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how easy or complex your case is. But I'll be honest, I really don't know what to expect when they restart processing from tomorrow. The processing timelines actually will be up on the immigration website as well, and it will change based on the workload they are dealing with. So if you see 4 weeks today, it could be 8 weeks tomorrow. Don't be surprised. But that's what is the current situation, and you'll have to be prepared for that. So that's my answer for the processing timelines.
May I
Next,
add something else to that answer?
yes, please.
Sorry, his name was Viren, was it?
Yes, Viren Gandhi.
Viren. Viren, the other thing is processing also happens quicker and faster when the company that's representing you as your licensed immigration advisor prepares and submits something called a visa ready file.
That's right.
That is very, very important because you've got to understand visa officers are working under very strict timelines and a lot of pressure on them. So if your advisor or your company that you've contracted like AJV Global can prepare a visa ready application and put it in. And we already have that track record with Immigration New Zealand, by the way. So Immigration New Zealand knows that a file from AJV Global has been completely looked at, thoroughly vetted, and ensure every piece of information that is needed for them to arrive at a decision is taken care of. So we are known to prepare visa ready files and put them into the system. Maybe you will get advantage of that. I'm not saying that if you apply through us, it'll somehow get fast tracked and good. But I'm just saying, these are also other factors at play. So if you want good, quick, clean, simple, professional, honest processing, speak to somebody like AJ.
Yeah. On that note, we've had 100% conversions for partnerships. So I'll just throw that into the
Are you
mix.
sure? Yeah. We don't want to send out the wrong message to.
No, we've had
Yeah.
we have definitely have almost 100%. There
See,
were some
100% and almost 100% are two different things. That's why.
Okay, I will. The reason I'm saying almost is we had to withdraw 1 or 2 cases due to circumstances, but otherwise we've got everybody else. So that's
okay.
much I can do.
I'm holding you responsible for that. I'm going to hold you accountable for that.
Absolutely. I could possibly check with immigration on that. Right. We have a very interesting name, Phenomenal India. And I'm not sure what your name is, but he says, what are your top 3 deciding factors for choosing between New Zealand and Canada?
Yay, good question. Should I take this or should you?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
This is one of the favorite questions I always get. Phenomenal India. I'm sure you will share your real name with us eventually when you submit your documents to us. They're all fantastic countries. So let me not act like there's something magical about New Zealand as compared to US, Canada, UK, Ireland, or Australia. I consider these 6 English-speaking countries as siblings, who all have their strengths and weaknesses. Some were founded earlier. Some, if I had to decide between all these 6 English-speaking countries, UK is like the grandfather because that's where it all kind of started, and then America, and then Australia. So in that sense, New Zealand is the youngest because we were the last to be discovered. and the last to be settled by Europeans and other people. So we are the youngest. So and we are still growing, we are still filled with energy. We are like the young guy in the family, raring to go and become as good as the older brothers and the father and the grandfather. So that's what we are, but all at the same time keeping it simple, clean, nice, beautiful. Look at various parameters around the world. Whoever asked the question, least corrupt country in the world, one of the highest levels of happiness, ease of doing business as per World Bank ranking, one of the highest, if not the highest, one of the highest qualities of education for children, great weather, Canada, cold, great weather. We have temperate weather here. By the way, it's middle of winter and all I'm wearing is 2 layers. Great weather. The society is very, very friendly, very less racism for us here. And there is a niceness and friendliness in people here. The most random of people walking by the street will look at you, smile at you, say hello. And at the supermarket checkouts, you'll have random conversations with the person checking you out, and everybody else is patiently waiting. So for the sheer niceness of a place, I prefer this. And because before I came to New Zealand and settled down here, I also worked in the US and UK. So I had that first-hand experience before I came to New Zealand, and I found something extraordinarily welcoming about this country. That's number one. Number two, because it's still young and growing, tons of opportunities. We are dying to attract people who can come and make New Zealand better through your talents internally, or exporting our goods and services, or what have you. That is last reason I always say is, would you rather want to be a big fish in a small pond, or a small fish in a big pond and just get lost in the crowd? So I came into as a small fish into a small pond. But today, through my work and efforts and that of my team, I think I have a reasonable recognition in my industry. And it's kind of nice to know that I am a big fish in a small pond. So those opportunities are also there. Hope I've answered your question. But like I said, they're all good countries, but there is something beautiful and nice about New Zealand, brimming with opportunities, especially in areas like the creative industries, information technology, biotechnology, or any of our long-term skill shortage list. I think you will do really, really well. Plus the greatest place on earth to bring up a family.
Brilliant. Right. The next question we have is Bharat Kumar, who says, with SMC come new look as green list. So I think you're wanting to know, is SMC essentially going to be green list? So the news we got from the government is that with the accredited employer work visas, they have released this new 3 categories of residents. Okay. Yes, this sits under the SMC category because it is based on skilled your skills, and it's not based on any other factors. So that's why it's under the skilled migration category. However, these are based on your employment. It's more like, it's very similar to the talent accredited work visa, which was there in the past. It's very similar to that. So that is why it's not points-based system. It's based on your employment. It's based on your salary. It's based on your occupation. And some of them will allow you to get direct residence, which is called a fast track category, which if you go on the green list, you will see fast track. If you meet those requirements of fast track, you can apply for residence in September this year. If you're not in the fast track, but in the other one, it's a work to residence option where you will work for 2 years in that occupation and apply for residence. Then there's a third category, which is the high skilled, which is also a work to residence where you have to work for 2 years in that role, in that salary band, and then you will get residence. So, but then there is no news from Immigration New Zealand or the government that SMC is out of the window. Please understand, SMC is based on point structure. It is mainly for people who are nowhere on the green list. It is for those kind of people as well. You could be working as an office manager, you could be working as a retail manager, you could be working in a lot of other areas that essentially do not come in the long-term skill shortage. Even in the past, that's what it used to be. So we have no news that SMC is out of the door, the points-based system. We are waiting for news, and immigration has told us that after the 2021 resident visa, they're going to talk about the points-based system under SMC. So I think the reason why I'm specifying on this is I had a few people from offshore and within New Zealand who had raised their concern, saying it looks like SMC points base is not going to happen because under SMC these three categories have been released. But we strongly believe that New Zealand's always been fair when it came to policy changes. I have seen it for the past 18 years. Whenever there was a policy change, there was always there was facilitation, there was fairness, there was justice in the way the policies were announced. On more importantly, the way it will be benefiting the country and migrants over here. Okay, so whenever that's released, we will come out with that information, Bharat. But don't lose hope if you're considering SMC as an option.
Yeah,
Points
and
basically.
also, Bharat, it's not just one particular pathway. You are, seem to be focusing only on one pathway called the skilled migrant category. There are so many pathways. And that is where, when you engage with someone like us, we can analyze the whole thing and say, all right, for worst case scenario, let's assume the government comes back and says, we're scrapping the SMC. And you thought you were the best fit for that. There's so many other pathways, Bharat. It all boils down to, are you a genuine applicant who wants to come into New Zealand? And will you come and benefit New Zealand and in the process create a good future for yourself and your family? As long as that fit is there, there is some pathway or the other. So don't worry about just one door being closed. There are many, many doors that are open into New Zealand.
That actually adds on to what Ali Shahzad has asked. He said, will work visa be the best for moving into New Zealand? So
Yeah.
I think it answers his question. It's not
Yeah,
just
but
work
to tell
visa.
again, to
Yeah.
tell Ali, we don't know till we assess your background and your, it's like asking a doctor, is aspirin the best for me because I'm suffering with something? We don't know. We'll need to analyze. We'll need to take your temperature. We'll need to check your pulse. We will need to see how many times you've had a fever. Is it coming mostly in winters or summers? What have you? And only then can we come out with a solution now, Ali. So, like, that's what I'm saying. If you guys think, oh, there's only one doorway and I'm somehow not fitting through that doorway, there are people like us. And that's what I know. I keep brandishing that rather proudly all the time. I'm called a licensed immigration advisor for a reason, because I understand all the doorways and how an individual can, fit in or not fit in. And I must also tell you another thing, guys. We are such an open, honest, in your face, straightforward company. If we think there is no doorway open for you, we will tell you to your face. We will tell you, do not waste your time, your money, or your effort, because we are not here to facilitate the entry of people who do not match the criteria. But, so we were here to help anybody who matches the criteria, but sometimes the door may not be very clear. So talk to us and we'll figure out which is the best doorway.
So Manjunath BP was asking any updates on SMC. I just covered that.
Yeah,
So
I think we
I'll
did that.
move on to the next one. Phenomenal in India has come back, Arun, and he specifically says this question for you. Any predictions on parent category resident visa from your network and insider channels?
Okay, I don't know, buddy, because that's been on the back burner for quite some time now. And I think the part of the reason was sometimes that particular category was also being oversubscribed. There were like way too many applications coming in for that, and so it created a big backlog. And they also, I think, realized there was a little bit of advantage being taken of this particular category, where old parents were being sort of dumped into the country, and being put into our health system, whilst the kids who are grown up and doing businesses were mostly spending time outside. So I think there was a little bit of concern around this category also being taken advantage of, because of which it went on to the back burner. But I do believe at some stage they will have to bring it back, because one of the cornerstones of immigration department of New Zealand is the reunification of families. That is one of the cornerstones of the policy and the philosophy of immigration New Zealand. So if it is a genuine concern that there's a set of parents or one parent who's left behind somewhere and has to be in New Zealand, I'm sure they will consider it. But as of now, right now, I don't have any clear idea about when they'll open it. All I know is they will open it. I don't know if it will happen this year or next year or a year later, but it will definitely come back, because family reunification is very, very critical for immigration New Zealand.
Great, thank you very much. Divyashri, hi Divya, she's one of our students. Hi, she says, hi Arun and Mary, I'm one of your clients. Is he eligible for STR? I'm not sure what I think she meant WTR. If he's getting a job as a system architect under the green list, this is for a husband after reaching New Zealand under the partner work visa. Um, is it easy to get a job with a accredited employer? Kindly confirm. So
Okay, yes, if he is a system solution architect and already has experience, we will practically throw the red carpet to him, Divyashree, because that's the kind of people we want here. We want this highly talented, qualified people in our skill shortage areas like IT and health and biotechnology and construction and all that. So if your man is got a good qualification, has got good experience, is able to present himself well in an interview, and is patient enough to understand that it will not happen in the first week after he lands here, that he needs to first, settle down here, get a feel for the country. But by and large, I have never ever seen a good IT professional not get a job in New Zealand. So I think it's a very, very high chance that more than likely, he will likely be able to apply for a residence before you complete your studies, because it's happened many, many times with our clients. Hope I answered that. Yeah.
great. Grishma Joseph, she says, I am now in UK as a healthcare assistant. Can I know how to migrate to New Zealand? Is it possible? What are the procedures, please? Okay. So
Right.
Grishma,
You want me to, or you want to take that?
no,
Yeah.
you can go on. No worries.
Yeah, so Grishma, same thing, Grishma. We don't know. I mean, right now at this stage, we only know your name, Grishma Joseph. Fantastic. There's another Joseph in this conversation, Mary Joseph, which is good. But see, at this stage, all we know is just very, very small pieces of information about you. We know your name and that you're in the UK and that you're a healthcare assistant. But we will need a lot more detail, Grishma. We will need to know what your qualifications are, what passport you're in, what's your nationality, with what was your immigration history, what is your health conditions, what is your legal status, and a lot of things. We need a lot of information, Prishma. Again, bottom line, are there opportunities for people like you in New Zealand? Absolutely, because our health sector is also, we are hugely in a shortfall of professionally trained and experienced people. Every other day when I open my phone and read the local news, somewhere or the other they're saying healthcare shortage. Tourism is a big shortage. Yesterday, I was listening to the news, by the way, and it says, I think tourism, they're encouraging people domestic people to apply for tourism jobs. And at least 25% of them are, it seems, also getting accommodation if they pick up the job. So we have shortages in many areas, Grishma, also in your area. So Joy, send your details to us, email us at info@ajvglobal.com with your CV and contact details. We will run it through one of our professionally trained advisors who will assess the thing and then decide which is the best pathway for you. And then we will come back to you, and then we can talk about, how much will it cost, how long will it take, what is the effort needed, are you with a family, are you single, all that solution is what we can provide. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have Ram Kumar who says, I want to know how much you're charging for accredited employer work visa for an offshore applicant. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Ram, accredited employer work visas are a relatively new area. So what we are doing is we're being a little flexible and we are trying to understand the complexity of each case. Yeah. Please understand that we cannot give any charges for that matter across the board. We can't tell you exactly what we charge without assessing, purely because, sorry, just
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll continue there. Sorry, Ram, is that for us, I mean, I can tell you it will cost you $2,000 or 2,500. I can give you a figure right now. But there are also variations sometimes when there is, a change to certain details that we might uncover from you. It might sometimes require some extra work for us to get your old immigration history. If it's a simple, straightforward case, I can tell you that it really won't cost you too much, and we will ensure that it is, fair fees for processing an employer accredited work, accredited employer work visa. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Right. Yeah. So we have the next question from Satya Narayana. He says the NZ Diploma in Electrical Engineering Level 6 program is eligible for the post-study according to the new post-study rules. How many years will I get post-study work visa after completing my study? Right. So usually a level 6 diploma in electrical and engineering is a 2-year work visa. So after you finish this program, the policy states that anybody who's studying a non-degree program, we will get a 1-year post-study work visa. So graduate diplomas and people who are on the green list are eligible for 1 year. But at the same time, suppose you're doing a bachelor's, you will get a 3-year. Okay. If you finished a diploma in your home country and you're getting cross-credited into New Zealand and you're doing only say 2-year bachelor, not 3 years, you'll get a 2-year post-study, right? So it's important to first of all understand, is that your right program? Because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's on the green list, I should do the course. But understand, doing this also ties you up, because if you do a diploma level, you will get a closed open work visa and not an open work visa, because there is a condition attached to it. So it's very important, guys, when you blindly take up green list programs, there could be some conditions attached to it. So it's important you talk to someone who understands immigration law, who can read the policy and explain to you the advantages and disadvantages. So Satya, send us an email. Do not make a choice without discussing, without understanding what it means for you after you study. So send us an email, info@AJV Global. If I think you must be based out of India, more than likely based on your name, call on our toll-free number 1-800-103-6525. We will sort it out, and one of our advisors will explain to you everything what it means for you. Yeah, right.
I think that was a very good explanation, Mary, about the green list and the number of years and how long they'll get a post-study work visa. I think that was very good, very good explanation, because again, a lot of people blindly jump into it, saying, oh, this is on the green list, let me take it up, and somehow magically things will happen to me after I finish this course. I think that was very well explained. So yeah, well done. And not only Satya, but everybody else who is listening in need to understand that there are hidden layers within the policies that will appear very simple on the website of Immigration New Zealand.
That's right.
Please be careful, because this is about your entire future. It's about spending a lot of money, uprooting yourself from one country to the other, and you need good, honest, sincere advice when you're starting it off, because sometimes that green list course may not be the right fit for you, especially if you're going to, like Mary said, you're going to lock yourself up into a corner. It might be very difficult to get out of that corner after you complete the course. So yeah,
I'll just add a little very important information here. What happens is, electrical engineers in New Zealand, you're required to also get registration.
Registered, exactly.
That when you come in and you have such a tight time in the country with only a closed work visa, it could become very difficult for you to get that registration on time. Because also I've heard from a lot of people that you're required to be as a trainee. You have to be a trainee electrician for some time for you to eventually get your full license, which becomes challenging. Employers might not want to hire you when you don't have your full license. It becomes all challenging. It's important to know all the nuances before you take that call, right? Moving on. Next question, we have Mohammed Qasim, who says, hi, Mary and Arun, please tell me something about the scope of an MBA in New Zealand.
Yay, good question. That's right up my street. Okay, MBA. Qasim, MBA obviously is at the master's level, which means you'll be eligible for a good long-term post-study work visa. 3 years, right, Mary? If I'm not mistaken. So so you'll get a 3 years post-study work visa, which is an exceptionally long period of time to get a good master's here in New Zealand. And it doesn't have to be MBA only. It could also be MBM, which is Master of Business Management. Again, we can tell you once you engage us in a conversation. And hey, guys, no money to engage us in a conversation. Everything is free initially. Okay, and then only later, once we have a few conversations, we might put our fees in front of you and say, okay, this is how much it will cost you. So coming back to Qasim, yeah, MBA will have very good scope, but again, depends a lot, I think, on your experience level, Qasim, because I think a fresh MBA might struggle a little bit if, you've just finished your, let's say, your degree, wherever you're based, and then you come here and then do an MBA, and you're only and you're only 23 years old after you finish your MBA. And so it's like you're pretty much a very young person with a master's, but not much of experience. I'm not saying that you will not, but if you're already a guy with 5, 6 years of experience in a good organization, wherever you're working, whichever country you're based in, and then come and top that your own initial degree with the experience you already had with a local MBA or MBA, and then get your 3 years post-study work visa, I do believe you will be able to crack yourself a suitable job and then eventually work towards residence. We've helped a lot of MBAs and MBMs, and quite a few of them. Was Anjana MBM, Mary?
She was an MDM,
Yeah,
that's right.
MBM, right. So I can, off the top of my head, recollect one of our students who had good experience and came to New Zealand. She was working in India, excellent communication skills. Okay, she was so good that we hired her after she completed her, and she worked with us for a very long time. And then she eventually moved and found another very good job in Wellington, and so she's based there. Yeah, so definitely scope is there. But if you're a fresh MBA, I'd say talk to us. We might recommend something else. Yeah.
I'll just add on that because this is something that the schools have told us. The average age of the class for an MBA program is usually about 35. That's purely because I'm not talking about international students, I'm talking about including local students here in New Zealand. When we say MBA, it's a business administration. So that means it's for people who have some years of experience and want to learn how to run a business or operate a business or be a part of the management of a business. But if you're a fresh graduate, like Arun said, you will need core knowledge in the area you're going to start off. You could be in marketing, you could be in sales, you could be in, say, communications and public relations, you could be in accounting. There's so many areas that you need knowledge of how New Zealand operates, right? You don't need to be at the managerial level, which will be only 3 or 4 years or 5 years later. So the programs, in fact, New Zealand has a lot of brilliant business programs, which is applied management program, where it helps you pick and choose your scope area. So degrees don't matter in New Zealand, guys. I mean, I have seen tons of people here who look for jobs. I've got a husband here who also goes out looking for job, and I understand how it works. When they are expecting skills, and just a degree doesn't matter here in New Zealand, it really doesn't matter. What skills you can show on the paper is very, very important. Yeah. So when you talk to us, we will help you understand that which area will be more suitable for you. We'll give you the options. It's up to you to take a call finally. Yeah. Okay, we've got one of our clients, Jayanta Padma Kumar, who's asking, is work permit generally extendable in case delays, there are delays with your PR application or your resident applications? You want to take that on?
No, you take that, Mary.
Okay, so Jayanta, I understand that you will be coming on a partnership-based work visa. I'd say 100%. I mean, not just you, even your wife who's here on a work visa, a student visa, and who will get a post-study work visa. It is extendable as long as you are able to find a job. See, once you have an open work visa, from there you go on to an employer-based visa or a visa that is supported by an employer. The most accredited employer work visa is what it's going to be from here on. There are no other categories of work visas that Immigration New Zealand offers. So if you're able to find a job with an employer who's accredited, then you can extend your visa. However, I know you might say, oh, not all employers have to be accredited in New Zealand, but that is changing. By mid-2023, all employers in New Zealand who want to hire migrants have to be accredited. It could be a very small shop having 3 people. It could be a company of hundreds. Doesn't matter. Everybody needs, it's to stop migrant exploitation, and it is to keep a track of, where people are, taxes and a lot of other things. So it's a new system. It's like if you are registered in New Zealand and you're a taxpayer, besides that, there's another requirement. You have to be accredited to hire migrants, no matter the visa they are on. So it's not going to be a big deal from next year, guys. And I understand that all employers will be more than happy to get this done. It's not a big process. So don't worry if you think that is going to be a disadvantage for you in the future. It is not. Yeah. And this is for everybody else who thinks that, oh, I've got only a 1-year post-study work visa and then I need to find an accredited employer. Everybody has to be accredited by end of next year. So that's not a disadvantage. Okay. Right. We've got Ria Biju, who says, hi, Mary and Arun. I'm one of your students. I'm aware of that. Hi, Ria. She's currently on a post-study work visa. Is there an estimated date around which we could expect the updates on SMC coming through?
I'll
So,
quickly answer that, Ria. We already answered that. As of now, there's unfortunately no clarity on that. But you're already onshore. You already have your post-study work visa. I hope it's for a nice long enough period of time. Plus, you have us to talk to whenever you want. You can pick up the phone and give us a call and talk to her. At this moment, we have no information on the SMC. The moment it comes, we will let you know. But in the meantime, if there are other pathways which might be applicable to you, we will certainly. So pick up the phone, call your AJV Global toll-free number 0800 696 Mary or Namrita or Rena, one of us will answer it, and we will try and give you more clarity as soon as we have news.
yeah. So Phenomenal in India comes back and says, do you help with visitor visas? Any indication of charges around the service? We do
We
assist.
we help with all types of visas, Phenomenal India, except the refugee category.
Yeah.
So except that particular category called the refugee category, we as a company work with all other visa types, whether it is an investor to a visitor visa, we do. Again, charges depends on, it's not one size fits all, unfortunately, because each client's circumstances will be different. We will give you a rate the moment we know your background. And if it's just you or your family or somebody else, all those details, we will absolutely give you. All I can tell you is we will not charge you an arm and a leg. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Neha asks, what is the processing time of general visitor visa and partner visitor visa from India? So
These are all clearly mentioned on the
Immigration
immigration website, Neha, and they keep changing, so I can't remember right now what it is for each of these individual streams. But by and large, I'd say 4 to 12 weeks max. By and large, that's the thumb rule: 4 to 12 weeks. And as I was answering somebody else just before, we at AJV Global, we are very good at creating something called visa-ready, decision-ready files, and we put it in there. And hopefully, you'll have advantage of a well-prepared and well-put-together application. It might come in as the earliest possible. Yeah.
Yeah. We have Pooja Kaushal asking us, what's the processing time for a student visa for New Zealand? Same answer.
Same answer, Pooja. And I can tell you, we are very, very hungry for international students. We want, we are dying to bring our international students back. It was one of our largest money earners. And so we've all suffered dramatically as a country, as an industry, institutions, and companies like AJV Global. So we are absolutely dying to bring you back, Pooja. So again, I'd say 4 to 12 makes maximum. But again, work with us and we will ensure it's all going so well that they can look at it and say, yeah, everything is there that we need, done, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we had this seminar with Immigration New Zealand, they did say that students should not apply more than 3 months prior to their course start.
Yeah, that's
and not later than 1 month prior to their course start. So
excellent. So there in itself is a timeline. So which
is a
means you need
timeline
to apply 12 months before the course start. Sorry, 12 weeks before
12
the
weeks.
course start. 12 weeks before the course start, and not within the 4 weeks of the course start. So there's your timeline now, Pooja. So obviously you're going to get it. So obviously the maximum will be 12 weeks, because if they are asking you to apply, they'll have to ensure the visa comes to you so that they can enter the country. Yeah.
Yeah. However, for some cases, please remember that, there are some extra processes. So you have to apply, well in advance. Don't think 1 month is good enough. That's why you talk to us. That's why you work with us. We will ensure that your application is put on time.
And also to add, Pooja, it is not just the visa. You need to understand that the admission process itself will take some time. And again, and institutions, unfortunately, again, have suffered quite a bit due to COVID. And so they're kind of restaffing and retraining and all that. And sometimes that can also take. So work with us as early as you can, and so we'll get everything ready, keep it all ready. On the day you're eligible to apply for your visa, we'll put it in, and maximum will be 12 weeks. Yeah.
Right. So we have Baba Yaga, who says, hello, sir. I've done a bachelor's in instrumentation and engineering from India and wanted to know the scope of instrumentation jobs in New Zealand.
Brilliant. All engineers most welcome, especially instrumentation. Oh, we love you guys. We would love to have all engineers, any kind of engineer, instrumentation, mechanical, electrical, electronics, ICTs, systems, whatever, construction, please come. Good, very, very good scope for engineers in this country. And that's why they are that particular profession is always on our long-term skill shortage list and various other skill shortage lists as well. And more than likely is also on our green list at the moment.
Yeah. Right. We have Bhaskar Datta who says, if a mother travels with a child along with her parents for about 6 months, leaving the supporting partner behind, can she do that?
Sorry,
Yes.
that was a bit confusing.
So basically, the student is a mother, a young mother. So she wants to take the child, and her parents are traveling with her. So can the partner stay behind without traveling? Is what he wants to
I
know.
don't think there's a problem with that.
We have a lot of
who
instances.
Bhaskar is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bhaskar's daughter didn't want to work with us. I'm still a little upset about that.
Oh, okay. Right.
Although Bhaskar knows how good we are. But no, I think there should not be a problem, Bhaskar. I think because normally a visa is issued for what about at least with a 1-year entry period. So yeah, I don't think that will be a problem, Bhaskar.
Yeah. But the partner, if he has a visa, there will be a first entry date. So be careful about
exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. So
that's the only problem.
How long is that first entry date? What, 6 months?
For the partner?
1 year?
Usually 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually 3 months, yes.
So it's ideal he enters and then.
Yeah. Okay, we have
Bhaskar must tell his daughter to go to whoever her advisor is, not ask us this question. Sorry, Bhaskar, I was just being cheeky.
Right. Millie says, I'm an AJV student with increased cost of living expenses and reduced PSWV rights. Do you think students who pursue education and career not on the green list would be at a disadvantage? Very common question.
Good question. I think again, like I said, I mean, I by any stretch of imagination will not fall into any green lists, Millie. By the way, I have a very simple. There you can see those are my certificates on top there. I'm a Bachelor of Commerce with honors, so I'm a commerce guy with a background in it, and then of course I did my immigration course, and then I ended up becoming a licensed advisor. I think for people who are not on either of these, so-called, it's like there are wanted children and unwanted children. Unfortunately, we commerce guys are, I think, somehow unwanted children sometimes. But I think if you are strong in your comm skills and you have a good track record and you have, like I said, there are all kinds of opportunities available. And I've seen people who are not from IT or engineering or whatever. Doing equally well. People who come to do courses in marketing, PR, business, administration. They're also, and I think for people like us, it will boil down to how well we present ourselves and how confident we are, and can we go grab that job? Because there are plenty of those jobs. It's not like they're not there. So if you go to seek.co.nz, which is our largest employment website, you'll see a lot of jobs that are relevant to you. Although you may not be from the green list or whatever. Don't worry. If you're confident, yes, you will crack it. If you're kind of a little shaky with your English or don't have a very strong work experience and all that, give us a call. We might be able to suggest something else which might be a bit more technical, which might help you to crack a future job. Yeah, cool.
I mean, also based on records, based on track record, I can tell you 50% of our students come for non-green list programs.
IT,
yeah. So they've all done extremely well. Yes, they've all done very well.
Doing pretty well. Yeah.
Yes, they've done very well, and yes, it might take probably 6 months or a year more for you to reach your goal. But if you're good, like Arun said, you'll get there sooner. Yeah. Okay, so we have Bharat Kumar who comes back and says he's under the ICT business analyst role, and he'd like to reach out to us. Bharat, send us an email to info@ajvglobal.com.
One of our CV, which has your telephone number and your contact details. Like I said, if you have that background, you will be very well received, and I'm sure we'll be able to figure out a very strong pathway for you. But yes, you are a high, like I said just before I was answering, there are wanted children and unwanted children. You'll fall into the highest level of.
No, I wouldn't say unwanted children. I would just say, naughty children who are not very technical.
Who did commerce side?
Because I'm also not. I'm also a commerce grad, so I can tell you. Yeah, but it's as I said, you will be the what do you say, you'll be the tortoise in the race, and that's the only thing, that the
But then
tortoise and
some of
the
those tortoises can turn out to be very, very swift and quick as well. So
exactly
we've
my
seen it.
point,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I was just being, cheeky and, cracking a joke.
Yeah,
Guys,
I
if
was
this
about to get offended.
if these two commerce graduates can do well and live in New Zealand now, so
Yeah,
can you.
and have
Don't
kids,
worry. End
then
of story.
exactly,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. End of story.
Right. Okay, so we've got Phenomenal India who had a very similar question: housing crisis, everything. Do you suggest we go to Australia rather than New Zealand? Because a lot of New Zealanders are going to Australia. I'll answer that question. I'll tell you, the crisis is everywhere. I think New Zealand, for us, the crisis and all is a lot of noise over here, purely because we're a smaller country. Takes time for us to kind of overcome. But Australia is having crisis. I was in India 4 weeks ago, and I was explaining to Arun how expensive India has become as a country. I mean, the basic costs have, I think, gone twice since I was there in the country, 6 years ago. So crisis is there. Cost of living has gone up across the board, not just in New Zealand. But Australia is a bigger country, is a bigger economy, and it offers different opportunities for people. And then you have your problems also with Australia. You have racism issues, and you have a couple of other problems as well. And they're a bigger country also. The weather is different over there across the whole country. Their policies of migration are also not standard across all their territories and regions, and a lot of things. It depends on what you want. Have a chat with us, and we can help you explain what New Zealand can offer. And if you think,
And
yeah,
rewind back to the start, sometime in the middle of this chat where I was comparing with Canada.
the countries.
Again, good, great country. Yes, it is not perfect, but it's a fantastic country
Yeah.
to come to and establish yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so we're to the end of the session. I'm just going to run through and
How
see
many
if
more
there are any.
questions do we have? Are there more questions?
I am just checking to see
Yeah,
if there are
just
any
check.
repeats. Yeah.
Because we're already 1 hour into the session, so we might
Yeah.
as well. Although I think, hey guys, for everybody listening, we're gonna break down the session and cut it up into smaller pieces of quick Q&A, and it'll all be on our YouTube channel called AJV Global on YouTube. Please go check out the channel, probably one of the best channels ever created by an international education and migration companies. It's got some phenomenal content there. There's also my channel called Arun Jacob on YouTube, which has also got a lot of content. Every time I'm traveling, I like to stick this onto my car dashboard and talk, and put up something there. Yeah. How many more questions, teacher?
We have two good ones. We'll just quickly touch on that and we
Touch
can
on that and wind it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Baba Yagas asks if the dependent visas, of this phase 2 of the 2021 resident visa are all sorted. Yes, it's in progress, I can tell you. But yes, we are getting decisions slowly but surely, especially dependent cases. Yeah. One last important one, a very good question. Naga Gangumala says, what are the chances of experienced people applying for masters in NZ, getting admitted and basically getting a visa? I'm 43 years of age and working. I am a BTech IT. Is it advisable to come to New Zealand?
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I was busy reading something.
He's 43 years old, BTech
Uh-huh.
IT. He's asking, is it a good time, with considering the age to come and study in New Zealand, look for a visa?
Yeah. Sorry, what's his name? Peter, is it?
Naga Gangumala.
Naga, Gangumara. Naga, I'm going to call you Naga. Naga, excellent question. At 43, this is pretty much your last chance to make a serious attempt at going overseas and settling yourself. This is pretty much it. I did it when I was 31. Yeah, I'm 53 now. So about 31, 32 is when I did it. So I was around that age. And for you, if you're already into your 40s, understand 2, 3 things are happening. One, your motivation levels keep dropping. 2, your body is giving up, which means there'll be something or the other that will crop up. Diabetes, hypertension, there's that, which might also become a stumbling block. But if you're in good health and you have some money, you obviously have experience, and you come from a good background. IT, right? He is an IT man.
Yes, BTech
Yeah,
IT.
okay, great. This is the time to do it. If you wait longer, you'll miss the bus. Our oldest client who came for studies and settled down in New Zealand, I think was 52 years old. And I think she came for a course in literature or one of
Applied management.
Applied management. Okay. So this is it for you. Your cutoff dates will kind of keep coming, dropping shortly. You're in a good profession, good background, good subject at the right age. Do it now for yourself and for your family, because you also need to have a good times going forward into your 50s, like how I have. I still play cricket, I still go racing, I still go kayaking, I still go fishing, I still go do lots of things, which I think this lifestyle was possible only because I live in New Zealand. So as a guy probably closer to you in age, at 53, we are 10 years apart. This is the time to do it, Naga. And just send us an email with your CV, with your background. But I think for a guy like you with your phenomenal, a lot of experience and IT, I think we should be good to go. All right, cool. Guys, it's been more than an hour now since we've started this session.
Sorry, Arun, 1 second. One of our students has asked one question and I want to touch on that before we close. I'm sorry about that. Hi, Millie, you've asked, I have 7+ years of experience, masters in communication, have offers from AUT and Vic, but your intake is only in February, so you're a little doubtful with 1 year of post-study work visa. Let me correct you there. You get a 3-year post-study work visa, not 1 year. So I think
Because
that
she
is
is going for a master's, right?
masters in communication. So she gets a 3 years post-study.
Ah,
Masters
okay.
in
Yeah. But
communication.
is she coming here for a master's?
Yeah, she's coming here for a master's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah,
because when I read it, it says I have 7+ years of experience, masters in communication, have offers from AUT
offers.
and WIC. So, what is her offer? If it's a postgraduate diploma, then obviously it is 1 year.
Right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought she's coming
yeah,
in for a master's. Sorry, I misread that. Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, you got to be careful about that in terms of if Millie, you're coming for a postgraduate diploma, then it is 1 year. And if you're coming for a master's, then it'll be 3 years. But I like your little cool dude and the sentence says, but the tortoise wins. You certainly sound like somebody who can win, whether it's a tortoise or tortoise. So, yeah. Okay. Were you able to quickly pull out what Millie's
I'm
applied
just
for?
going there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Anyway,
I'll
we'll go
connect
back
with
to
her myself
individually.
and I'll sort that out for her.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that session. It's been a long time, and I really enjoy these sessions because I like to kind of sit here in Hamilton, New Zealand, and talk about what's possible and what's not possible in New Zealand. And we have been waiting and waiting to be able to come back and do these things. And so, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you to the rest of my wonderful team. We also have a fantastic new captain at the helm of affairs for AGV Global, but we'll be discussing that in one of our future chats. If you guys like this, please like, share. I know I'm sounding like a YouTuber, but what the heck, I might as well do it. Okay, please like, and please press the bell icon to get more. Okay, so yeah, but please like, share, and share it with your friends, and my team will also carry it up and put more FAQs. But yeah, and if you want us to come back and talk more, send us an email saying, "Hi, look, guys, you are." Mary, they want the toll-free number and
yes.
email
So,
ID. It's
yeah,
all on our website, guys. Go to
website
ajvglobal.com. We have a toll-free number in India, which is 1-800 something. I
one eight
can never.
hundred 103 6525.
Yeah,
And
1-800-103-6525. And New Zealand is 0800-696977. And the only email ID you will require is info@ajvglobal.com. Send us an email. It is taken care of, and we will come back to you. But otherwise, thank you so much. Lovely as always. And we really look forward to having you here in New Zealand soon. And please tell your family and friends about AGV Global and how cool we are as a company. All right, guys, take care.